country also, so it's a good 1-2 combo. They did have some graduation at the receiving corps, but Warren has stepped in and had a monster game last week against South Dakota State, and you know, so again, with their combinations of what they do, they're a difficult team to defend. That really puts a lot of stress on your defense. You need to be assignment sharp. You need to be in position. We need to get as many hats as we possibly can on the running backs, and you know, it'll be a challenge for us defensively.
How would you describe Gorham as a receiver?
Oh, he's just has a good feel for the game. You know, has good size. He's a 6'2" kid. Can go up, get the ball. Has a natural feel for it. Plus, he has, you know, the speed where if he does get a step on you, you're not going to catch him. So, you know, I've been impressed watching how he's played through the season. He's their go-to guy, and you know, he's really kind of stepped up in a position where they needed somebody to step up. So he's made that position kind of his as far as the guy that can get it done, and like I said last week against South Dakota State, very impressive.
And what do they do that was so effective in stopping the run? You know, against Illinois State, especially Coppers. I mean, up until Saturday, he got 7 straight games rushing for 100.
Well, they definitely committed everyone to the box, and that's why you end up seeing a receiver with 241 yards. You know, so that's the give and take that goes with football. You take something away, you're probably going to give something up on the other end of it. So, and that was one of Roberson's best passing games that he'd had, passed for over 300 yards, but they were going to make them beat them with the pass, not the run.
I guess why is it so hard for defenses to key on those two? If they really only use the quarterback and the running back, why is it so hard for the defenses not to key on those two?
Sounds simple, doesn't it? No, it's just the concept of defense. Again, you got an offense that's spreading you out all over. Okay, so if you're going to commit like South Dakota State did to just defend those two, the extra guys, the pass is going to hurt you. You're going to give up something. It's just one of those things about football. You only have so many guys that can play it. Plus, you got a running back who's very capable of making the first guy miss, and that's where Coppers gets a lot of his yards. He makes somebody miss, and then he gets those big runs. Those two specifically have been the main reason that they've been able to come from behind a couple times. Extremely impressed with their comeback against Indiana State. It was a rainy day, and they were down 24-9 late in the third quarter, and that's where you saw those two specifically just step up and elevate their game. Their coaches are very good at putting them in situations where they'll get the matchups that they're looking for, and then they just let their players play. So it's always a give and take. There's a lot of things that happen with formations and motions and things that you got to be ready to adjust for defensively, and then at the same time you still got to keep your eyes on the running back and the quarterback.
What gives you confidence you can beat Illinois State this week?
We're a good football team. You know, that's you know, our 3-6 record doesn't show it, but you know, I think our guys know it. So I think there's that internal confidence that as a coach I can see it, and you know, I think we got something to prove here yet, and I think that's a big motivation that we can still make some noise.
Has the team currently embracing the spoiler role kind of these last 2 games?
Well, it's still too soon to get all, you know, about the spoiler role. I just know that yesterday, Sunday, you address the USD game, you know, and you always are watching the eyes and seeing if the guys are buying into what you're saying, and they're buying into it. So it's something, you know, we wished it would have turned out a little different, but we still got some football to play, and we still got some stuff to prove. So that's what the objective is.
Have you ever been a part of 6 games decided by 6 points?
Yeah, I usually win them though. I mean, that's.
You think you win them 2, but to lose all 6.
Well, that's the thing. I haven't been where you've lost all those close ones. I've been in seasons, 2008 here. I mean, we just coming from my radio show, you know, that was Mike Reese's comparison. We won 6 games by, you know, similar scenario, but we were winning them. I had seasons before where we won the close ones. I mean, that's just the thing that we're battling right now. We're not winning the close games, and some of that is maturity. We're playing 20 freshmen, and that's something that we have to learn how to do, is to win those close games, not make this mistake down the stretch that'll end up costing us. And you look at the USD game, I mean, we had the situation we were looking for, 6 minutes left in the game. We had the ball, we had the lead. Now you want to get that drive where you just kind of control the tempo going down the field. Couldn't do it. You know, then we give a turnover over, worst case scenario, put our defense in, defense rises up. We're in a 4th and 4, we force them into a 4th and 4. We just need one more stop, one more play. Couldn't do it. We come back, we get the ball, we move the ball down, we have a chance. I mean, you're just right there, that one more play. There's just so many situations that it could have been there, but we didn't do it. So, you know, that's just a belief that it can be done, and to do it, you just have to find a way to cross that line.
How would you describe your 18 seniors?
A lot of them are program guys. They're very loyal. You know, that's you know, some of them are in very important roles like Ionati, and we've had some transfers come in that have really contributed to the program, and we got some of those guys that are in reserve roles that are just contributing any way they possibly can. So not a lot of superstars in the group, but you know, guys that are as loyal, and they'll be as loyal to SIU as any graduating class that we've had. So you know, they're proud of the program, and they put a lot of time and effort into this. So you know, I'm glad how they stuck together.
What stands out to you about Illinois State's defense?
Well, defensively, you know, they're just a very solid. They've been in some defensive battles with the games that they've played. They're going to make you earn everything that you get. Again, they've been able to do things in the 4th quarter that have allowed their team to win. Again, they've had some come from behind wins that have been impressive how they've won it, and I think that comes with success too. You know, they had an incredible season last year. The confidence level is high. They have the players that have been in that position before, and therefore they're playing with a lot of confidence, and that carries over to their defense.
They've only given up 11 rushing touchdowns. Do they strictly focus on that, you know, in most games we've seen?
Well,
Ground game?
yeah, I wouldn't say that's what they focus on. I mean, that's where they got a good front 7. You know, it's just what teams have tried to attack them with too. Sometimes when you're giving up limited numbers of touchdowns in one area, you're probably giving up a few more in the other area. So it's a give and take. They're good in the red zone. I think that's something that's where you get your rushing touchdowns, is when you're getting into the red zone, and their red zone defense is pretty effective, and I think that's probably where they're strongest.
Does Perkins stick out to you as their best defensive lineman? I know they have Corwin's a pretty good one too.
Well, Corwin's been hurt, so he just hasn't played a whole lot here for the last couple of weeks. He's on the depth chart, you know, so he'll be returning. But they actually, without Corwin in there, they got 3 sophomores that have done a very good job stepping up and being solid players inside. So they do have some youth on defense. They got 3 sophomores in the secondary that have you know, done a good job on the season too, playing the schemes that they've been asked to play. But you know, there's also that talent factor that they got a couple guys that stand out.
Would that be the final home game? Sorry, and on pace for the lowest average attendance at Saluki Stadium. Have both you and the team felt that difference at all this year?
You know, we just play the game. That's you know, it's we understand we don't have the record that we want, therefore the attendance Probably not going to be at the level that you would like it to be. All we can do is just play as hard as we can. So that's the reality of it. That's really all I can comment on that.
Jonathan Nixon had 98 rushing yards on 8 carries. Being a freshman, what's your hope for the future about him as he head in his backfield and maybe bring away from a running back like this?
Well, no, John had a good, and you got to look at that too. There was one big run. I wish he would have had another, 8 yards onto that total. But, he's a good, hard runner. That's his style. You got to give the offensive line a lot of credit on that one. I mean, he hit the seam, and it was wide open for him to get going. So, but he will be the guy that can get us some hard yards. You still got Aaron Stanton, you still got Cam Walter, and we got to get Chris Perkins. He's another one that we've been talking about because Chris has a little more shake, a little more speed. Get him involved in the game plan too. So hopefully, Chris gets some carries this week, and we'll see what he can contribute. So again, depth at the running back we knew would be important, and with Daquan being out, we got to find that guy that has that consistency factor that can give us that steady run game production that we want.
What is Matt McIntosh's status for this week?
He's getting better. So he's just, that turf toe is probably one of the most frustrating injuries that a player can have. It's just he just hasn't been full speed, and for Matt's game to be effective, he needs to be at full speed. So we're hoping that he can get very close to full speed, and he's another element that if we can get him back into the package and contributing the way that he's capable, that'll be a big boost to us offensively.
Was winning the Youngstown game, which we always thought that maybe was going to be the breakthrough. Would you still feel they're a confident bunch when they come down to the wire, like these games have?
Oh, it's one of those things where you just keep battling. It's the media, you guys can analyze it every which way you can, but you're dealing with human nature here. You're dealing with, things that, there is no black and white answer that you can put on it. It's a situation, you're in a competitive battle. Things happen during that competitive battle. You just want to be in position to have a chance to win at the end. And if you give yourself a chance to win at the end, then it comes down to being able to do it. And, right now, we just haven't been able to do it for various reasons. There's not just one specific reason why we've been losing football games. We've had chances to win all those games if one play here, one play there, a catch, if we catch that post over the middle that was right there against USD, now we're on the 15-yard line. Now we got a chance to score that touchdown, kick that field goal. I mean, if we make that catch against Indiana, and the 2-point conversion, I mean, now all of a sudden, you got a completely different outlook with everything that you're doing. So it's definitely not a lack of confidence. It's just we got to make that final play, and we got to keep doing it on a consistent basis. Now, the encouraging thing is we've been going through these battles. I guarantee you there's lessons being learned. This is something that isn't being lost. You go through this hardship. Hardship does something to you. It makes you into a better person if you handle it right. And I do think this team has handled this hardship in a very positive way, as positive as you can, considering what we're going through. And that's what I'm encouraged with, is that this team will benefit from it somewhere down the road.
Besides the fumble type of turnovers, are you seeing the same type of mistakes being done over and over during the season, or is it
Again,
variations?
you got different defenses you're playing against. You got different people involved. We had 2 offensive linemen that weren't playing last Saturday. Again, it's just you don't know where the breakdowns are going to show up, when they're going to show up. I mean, it's just the nature of the game. The game is very fluid. It's not like fixing a car where you can take it in and do a couple adjustments here and there, and then everything is running smoothly. You just have to keep working the complete package, and eventually you'll hopefully get the kinks worked out where it can be productive. Now, some of this might not be completely worked out until next year, but like I said, we got 20 freshmen that we're playing. There's a lot of potential on this football team that I think is very encouraging, but we want to see some results this year yet here, that's where the Illinois State game is the perfect opportunity to prove again that we are a good football team and we are capable of playing at a high level.
You mentioned during your radio show that Dalen will be back next year. He got a
Right.
6-year?
We didn't redshirt him. He played as a true freshman.
Oh, okay.
Yep, so.
Will you be counting on your red shirts to fill in for at the nose tackle and say outside linebacker and safety, or are you going to be reaching out for somebody for spring?
Well, we got good numbers already coming back, so within the program, our depth is good. Naturally, you're always recruiting. You're always looking for talent to bring into the program, but we have a pretty solid.
I thought the safety from Texas, the redshirt freshman, did pretty well for you this year. I can't think of his name.
Chris Atkins.
Yeah, he's going to get a shot at it probably.
Yeah, I mean, and safety is a position. We got some guys that we have redshirted that are talented. You always want to redshirt your freshman class if you can, unless they're ready to contribute, and so there's some talent there. We still got recruiting. An outside linebacker, same thing. There's some players in-house that are going to be. Leonard Guerin is back for his senior year. We still got some guys returning that will be able to play. So, again, I don't want to be talking next year. I mean, we're getting ready for this upcoming weekend. So, that's at another conversation. But this experience factor of the hardships we're going through, I do think that's something that will. These young players especially, they're playing a lot of football. I mean, we're playing at a high level. This isn't some weak conference that we're playing where every weekend is a easy game that should just fall into place for you. These are top 20 type teams that we're playing week in, week out, and that's the reality of it.
Coach, what kind of faith does I-90 have in Billy Reed? Billy Reed's had come up with some big catches for you lately.
Yeah, no, I think every quarterback wants to find that one go-to guy, and I think Billy has that capability of making those type of plays, especially when you're looking for matchups. That's just part of our offensive package. Anytime we think we got a matchup that we want to go after, Billy's in that. Mark's probably a little more apt to throw that ball.
Has Coach Akins ever talked to you about his abilities, his body control, or how he wins those one-on-one battles downfield?
And Coach Akins talked to me about it.
Yeah, I mean, how does
I can see it myself. It's a natural thing. It's receivers have those natural, and it's something you learn through time. But it's how you run a route, knowing when to slow up, knowing when to slow down, know how to set up the defender so you can come back, get the ball, knowing how to position your body so that you keep that arms out of them breaking it up. So there's just so many factors going into being a good receiver. It's not just running a certain route and the ball being there.
Was Billy Reed a wide receiver in high school?
He played quarterback, yeah, but we recruited him as a receiver right off, and that's something. He came here to be a receiver.
So has he surprised you as far as?
Not at all.
He's
Not
just
at
a
all.
heck of a receiver.
It's we thought he probably would have, even last year would have, we had some good receivers last year, but we knew we'd be in the mix last year. But this is what we thought Billy could do for us.
Coach, I don't remember you using the wide receiver screen as much as you usually do. Is that a play that you can attack Illinois State with a little more?
And again, it's not a screen thing. It's just an extension of the run play. It all depends on how they're defending us. So if they're putting more people in the box, we're going to be throwing the ball out wide. If they are putting more people out wide, we're going to be trying to run the ball inside. So those are all the read progressions that go through, and it's pretty standard. Illinois State does the same thing. It's just how you line up your defense and how you take advantage of it. So the reason you're seeing more of it now is because it's an up-tempo offense. So every play that we have, Ionati has 3 different reads that he could possibly go to. There's no guarantee it's going to be a run. There's no guarantee it's going to be a pass. It kind of depends on what we're seeing.
One technical thing, do you, with your headsets, do you hear what plays are gonna go in, even though you're not in on the conversation at the time?
I'm hearing everything, yes. Yep.
Did you feel like Mark made a lot of the reads as usual, or were there odd plays that you disagreed with his decision?
Oh, there's always going to be mistakes. Things are happening so fast. I mean, and that's where you give the quarterback a, if not clear, this is what you do. You know, you always take the safe route. If what the defense is showing you, you're not quite sure what you're seeing, you know, then there's that safe route that you immediately go to where it's less likely to be a play that hurts you. But Mark has done an incredible job throughout the season, making those reads, making those checks, making those adjustments. And that's one of the reasons why we've been able to put the offensive numbers that we have.
Thanks, Coach.
Good.